What's good, Council of Comics? Happy Palm Sunday. It's the Film and Box Office News Podcast. We'll be back in 30 seconds. What's good, Council of Comics? It's the Film and Box Office News Podcast, episode 32. We're doing the Goonies. Hey, you guys!
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes? Soon as they get here, everything will be alright. I need a hero. Someone superhuman who can come and save my life. Crisis after crisis.
What is good, Council of Comics? Thank you for joining us for another episode of Film and Box Office News. This is episode number 32. We are doing the Goonies today. And as usual, I have my loyal and fellow counsel, Phil, Cliff, green shirt guy. How you guys doing today?
I slept a bunch. Feel good. I was gonna
How about
rewatch
you,
this
Phil?
and I didn't.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Good. Today, what did we do? Me and Kamari finished watching season 4 of You. Oh my god. Gut wrenching, I'll tell you. Do you guys watch You?
No, you keep telling me I should. I
Oh
I think it's in
God.
my queue. I have so many things that because I have I watch Hulu and I'm trying to get to other stuff, but it's in there.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
like-
what I did watch was
What?
that Tetris movie.
Ooh.
Oh, what's
it was,
that on?
It was pretty good. Now, it's a movie, so you don't they obviously they fill in conversations that they're not there for. But I mean, I didn't.
What
there
is
was
it
a lot
about
of
the
stuff in
people-
there that I didn't know.
Tetris?
What's that?
Is it about the people who made Tetris?
It's about the yes, and the guy who ends up getting the rights to produce Tetris worldwide and the fight for it. It was interesting. There was a lot of backdoor shady dealings that he was not necessarily involved in, and it's also during communist Russia, so a lot of fun stuff with that too. It was
Tetris
interesting.
was a big game, man.
Huge game. Still
Big
a
game.
huge game.
I think it blew up more when the Game Boy came out, though.
Well, they go into that.
Yeah.
There's the whole thing about that, where the guy's trying to buy rights, and then he goes to Nintendo for some reason I can't remember, and they make him sign. You see him, he walks in this room, and they make him sign an NDA, and the guy's like, he goes, "Well, why are you making me do that?" And he says, the Nintendo guy says, "Well, because you're one of, after you sign this, you'll be one of 10 people in the world to have seen this, and I don't trust you enough." So he signs it, and then all of a sudden he pulls this thing out, and it's the Game Boy prototype sitting on a thing with, I think, Mario Brothers. He goes, does this run on? I can't remember what computer language he says. He goes, the guy's like, yeah. So he walks over, puts a disc in, and he goes, if you package Mario Brothers with this, it will sell fairly well to kids. He goes, if you package Tetris with this, you'll sell 20 million to everybody. And if
That's
you remember, when Game Boy came out, Tetris was the game that came with it.
That was the game. Yeah, I used to play it like crazy, man. I thought the other games on it were okay. You know what I mean? They were okay, but Tetris was just, it didn't matter the graphics. It was just
boom.
It was
And
just so good.
You could pick it up and play whenever you wanted to. It's not
Yeah,
like,
'cause I never played Tetris for the regular Nintendo system.
I think I did.
I played the first one was like a black cartridge. It was like I forgot the maker, the company that made them, but it came in like a different shaped cartridge. There was a black one.
Yeah,
And I played that
remember
one first. And I think that one had a 2-player option. And then there was the more like famous Nintendo one. They have it over there. They have it like right over there.
Feels like I think I could see it at the corner of my eye.
All right, let's
Phil's got it
jump in.
graded.
Huh?
Phil's
Phil,
it
you got it.
graded.
You got it graded.
No, it's not graded.
All right, let's jump into some film and box office news before we hit the top 10. Joaquin Phoenix was so exhausted filming Bo is Afraid he fainted on set. Is that sentence sound right? I feel like
Bo is Afraid is the
Joaquin Phoenix
title.
filming Bo is
Yeah.
Afraid. Oh, here we go. All right, continue. Disable it. All right, disable. Back to me. Disable. All right. You said the filming
It's called
Bo?
Bo is Afraid.
Yeah, the title. Is
Oh, wow. Okay. He says, let's check out his quote. Every dangerous thing Bo does, Joaquin did. The thing that's surprising
No, we
about
didn't.
him,
No, we didn't.
I was thinking he'd be able to do everything once and then not repeat it, but he's so technical. And part of what was amazing is the fact that he has to feel his way through everything, and everything has to feel honest. At the end of the film, it was the last week, and he was working with Patty, and there was a scene that was very intense for Patty, and it was a shot that was on Patty, not on him. All of a sudden, he fell out of frame, and I was really pissed because it was a really good take. It felt confusing, so I went around the corner to the monitor, and he was collapsed. He fainted. And I knew that it was bad because he was letting people touch him. People were tending to him, and he was allowing it. And he was very confused. He fainted. He fainted in somebody else's take. The shot was for them, not for him. He was helping them. He was in it for them to the point where he collapsed. It's very poetic that he collapsed on somebody else's shot. How's that poetic?
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I mean-
it's poetic for the nature of the surrealist nature of the movie.
What is that? Explain that to me.
That the movie is surrealist, right? Like he's like, oh, I live alone. I need to go visit my mother. But his visit to his mother just becomes this weird adventure where it's like, oh, hey, Bo, it's like, this is Mr. and Mrs. whatever, and you woke up here. We're hosting a barbecue for your going away. What going away? I'm trying to get to my mom's house. It's like, honey, you've arrived to your mother's mansion, but you missed her funeral. What funeral? I didn't know my mom was dying. And then, of course, every time something happens to him, it unlocks a memory for him, right? So us, the viewer, we're experiencing it like we're him, right? So there's the surrealist element. So the fact that he should faint into someone else's shot, I guess, is because, hey, we're doing a surrealist film. Haha.
All right. So I guess he doesn't like people touching him, because that's when he was like, oh, they were touching him, so I knew something was wrong. He doesn't like people touching him, and he's a very method actor.
Yes.
So, I mean, he puts out great stuff, so we can't question it. You know what I mean? All right. Next
He
up.
doesn't slap people when he wins Oscars. Yeah, I said.
Very true. Very true. We can have a talk about that. I wouldn't mind talking about that. I thought the fact that he did that, of course, guys, we're talking about Will Smith. He did that, and then he won the Oscar, and people were clapping and applauding him and praising him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was troubling.
Well,
Very
that
troubling.
is a great example of a surreal moment.
That's I will give you
Boom.
that.
There's the
100%
connection right
behind
there.
that.
Yeah, that's a very surreal moment. And and the thing is, like, I don't know if you've ever been, I can't think of whenever I've been in a situation like that, but I've been in uncomfortable situations where you're like, okay, well, I guess we're just gonna clap now because that's what we're supposed to do. Even though, oh yeah, I've been at an event where somebody was taken away in an ambulance, and then we just kept right on going on and clapping for the next presenter. So, like, I guess it's similar-ish.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Psych 4 movie may be right around the corner, according to One Star. What is Psych? Is that a
Didn't know
TV
they
show?
had
It was a
made
TV
a movie.
series.
Mm-hmm. That was on Sci-Fi or something?
No, it was on
No, it was-
USA of all things.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh, USA.
the one where the guy pretends to be a psychic.
Right, and he's just super observant.
He's pretending to be psychic?
yes.
Yes. So
Gotcha.
he assists the police. Is it like in Miami or something?
I've never seen it. People tell me it's great. And I know about it, but I've never seen
It's very entertaining. So his friend there knows what's really up. And his father was like his father's like a very well-established detective. So like that's like a thing. And then of course, but it's his power of observation that gets him through, and he pieces everything together, and he just pretends it's because he's psychic.
Okay.
In fact, Todd Knock generally will, if you ever see him at a show, when he cosplays, he does the lazy cosplay as that guy who walks around with a pineapple.
Yes. And then in this case, the pineapple has to do with this show,
Right.
and not other things.
Here's the quote. It's interesting because I was just texting with James Roday yesterday, and he is playing things close to the vest. I don't know anything, but I honestly think there's going to be another one. I really do. I know it's moving in that direction, but it's really up to NBC. I really think the public is clamoring for one more psych movie. Believe me, nobody is getting in the way of it, including NBC. It's just got to be right. Everybody's got to be available, and the list goes on and on. But if I had to bet, I would put my money on there being another one. You heard it here first. This tells me absolutely nothing.
No,
I didn't know
Actually,
they made any.
it was
any
in his
movies.
line. His line, I don't know anything.
But
Well, it's like, if you don't know anything, then what are you saying right now?
he
Well,
may be
because
saying
it's
I
like,
don't
oh,
know
but
anything 'cause he's
dude-
not allowed to say anything.
yeah, he's like, I don't know anything, but dude was acting real shady when I was on the phone with him yesterday.
Right.
That's how it works.
And I was on the phone with him,
Oh
and he
my
told me
God.
not to say this to anybody, but I can tell you, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move forward. Senor Chris Pratt promises Super Mario Brothers won't ruin your childhood.
Eh.
Do we
We
believe
don't
it?
need to read that. But yo, Chris
Do we
Pratt
believe-
has been on such a promotional tour for this movie, and people keep asking him about the reaction to him voicing Mario, and he goes, people are very passionate about it. This movie is their childhood. I get it. He's being so understanding. And in the
Yeah.
meantime, Jack
here's his
Black
quote.
is going
It
around
makes-
dressed in a Bowser suit. I love it.
Here's his quote. It makes sense. I was pretty nervous when they offered it to me. I thought, wow, let's not screw this up. That's where it all comes from, I think. People are passionate about this character, and they've probably seen some of their favorite IP getting screwed up. It's kind of a cynical business. People make movies just because a title has reach. I saw it with the Lego movie. I was like, how are you going to make a movie with about Legos? What is that? And then Chris Miller and Phil Lord made this incredible movie. I was part of it. I loved it. So it's a big challenge. Just because something
Great
has
movie.
reached doesn't mean it's going to be a good movie. And there's instances of people making bad movies and ruining people's childhoods. So the pressure was on to not do that. And thankfully, we didn't. I think the movie is fantastic. And I think your childhood is firmly intact. We've only heard like one or two lines from him as Mario.
Yeah.
I don't think that's enough to make a judgment call. Like if anybody freaking out, it's like, get a grip, bro.
Well, and how many lines does Mario have in the games other than "It's me" and "Hoo-hoo"?
Yeah.
So,
The closest thing we have is remember the old cartoon? Captain N
yeah.
and all that? Yeah.
With Lou Albano.
Yeah. Which was a great cartoon, by the way. I love that cartoon, Super Mario Brothers. All right. Yeah. When's this movie come out?
This week, I think.
Is it?
I think it's this week. My phone
April
died, I looked
5th.
it up.
You are correct. April 5th. Gotta see it. You know what I mean? I gotta see it.
Listen, I'm just happy Anya Taylor-Joy is Princess Peach. And Jack Black as Bowser completely won me over.
Next story.
Dungeons
One
and Dragons.
D&D movie star made the same costume mistake as Robert Downey Jr. Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves star made the exact same costume mistake that the Iron Man star Robert Downey Jr. did. Let's see. I made that Robert Downey Jr. mistake. Like, filming in armor is not where you want to be. You're hot all day.
Oh.
You can't sit down. The sweat goes nowhere, and it's just kind of hangs out. It becomes a scuba suit, just with your own juices. It was delicious. Where's the mistake?
Because Robert Downey Jr. was like, in the first Iron Man, he was wearing a lot of physical stuff. And like, you know, we've moved away
That's
from
not
that.
a
Now you
mistake.
walk
That's
around-
just what they had to do.
Yeah, but he didn't.
That's not a mistake.
The mistake is I didn't think of that when I took the role.
right.
Oh, so
and
then
also-
don't be in the movie then next time.
Right, but also the mistake of, oh, I didn't ask what else we could do, right? But once
There's
Iron
that
Man
too,
was a success, you know, the next movie comes out, it's like, yeah, we're gonna CGI that completely, right?
Well, and that by the end, Robert Downey Jr. I remember seeing that interview. He's like, he goes, you know how when you guys go out in a battle or whatever, I'm not there. I'm in a studio for this.
I mean, still, I'm like, you're in the movie, bro. Relax.
Oh, I
probably
think it's
like,
I
you know
don't
what I
think
mean?
he's
Like,
complaining that much. I think it's a.
I don't think it, I was gonna say, why? I was like, don't take it that seriously. This isn't that type of thing. He's been
Yeah.
nothing but an absolute champion about advertising this movie. You know, you've always got to have that one complaint. You know, look at the poor guy who played Worf on Star Trek. Every day for how many years has he been on that doing Worf for television? Every day, like 6 hours in the chair, makeup. Oh my God, the poor guy.
very true. Very, very true.
And he regrets none of it. And he's writing Steel. So remember.
How
that.
about Colin Farrell? How much makeup did he have to put on for the Batman?
Oh my God, turning
Oh
him
my
into
God, now
Penguin.
he's doing Penguin, the series for HBO. So
Oh, is he?
yeah. Ballerina was not originally a John Wick spinoff, reveals producer. So they were gonna do a spinoff off of this, huh?
Hey, I'm down for it.
Huh. Let's see what he has to say. He says, yeah, it's funny. Ballerina was sort of a long time coming. Also, Shay Hatton was like an intern for Robert Downey Jr. I had a general meeting with him. He was a huge John Wick fan, and he wrote Ballerina in a vacuum, like as a spec script. He gave it to me, I want to say 5 years ago, and I read it, and I was like, okay, it was an assassin, Rooney. It was a female character, but we optioned it, and we were like, let's back this into the John Wick universe. Then we started developing and making it more Wick. But this was before we'd even shot John Wick 3. There have been iterations along the way, and as we keep learning more about the universe and creating new characters and refining the Wick world, that sort of enters its way into Ballerina. So even a year ago when we were working on the script, it was like, Winston was sort of there, and the Sharon character and Angelica Houston, the director's character, but it was like, what do we do now? What is the state of the Continental? What is the timeline? How are we breaking it? What are the reference points we can use? Ballerina is this constantly evolving ecosystem of a movie. It's just been really fun to work on.
I
So
mean,
that's next up, right?
I'm kind of down for that, but as I'm thinking about it, it sounds like it'll be good. Like they have to make it very John Wicky. They have to make it that universe because we've seen this with Red Sparrow.
What do
She
you
was a
mean?
ballerina that became, a spy.
Okay.
That's my only worry is that it's going to be. Oh, I've already seen this.
But aren't these like different ballerinas though? Like they're not your normal ballerinas.
Oh, I'm sure, but
because look at the
So-
whole
so was
tattoos
she.
and
She
everything. That's not really acceptable in the ballerina world.
what's that?
You know what I mean? Like the way, look at it, like you see most of the
Oh, the
ballerinas in
tattoos?
John Wick universe, they have all these tattoos. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it might be like for a specific John Wick crowd inside the universe.
But that could just, I mean, the tattoos could just be the aesthetic, because it seems like just about everybody has tattoos in those movies.
Right.
about
Well, I
the-
mean, it's
think
like
about the
it's not
people in the
regular
office.
ballerinas like in the ballerina world. You know what I mean? Because if you had,
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they do it right, it won't come off as, oh,
you know, well, they haven't started filming this, right?
doesn't even sound like the script's even done. I think they're
Yeah.
still tweaking it. Look at the calves on
Um,
that woman. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Ballerina comes out next year.
Principal photography began in November of 2022.
Interesting.
It is currently in post-production.
And she plays the ballerina, Anna de Armas?
Yes, she does.
I'm in. Okay. That's all you need to tell me.
By the way, finally powered through Blonde, and she's wonderful.
Which one's
Also, it's the movie about Marilyn Monroe where she plays Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like a 3-hour movie. But also, coincidentally, I watched Amsterdam because I wanted to, and I didn't realize she's in the movie playing Margot Robbie's sister-in-law. And the two of them are great in that movie, which is heavily and loosely based on a true story.
Mm-hmm. That's a fun movie.
It's definitely a fun movie. I really enjoyed it.
I liked Michael Shannon and Mike Myers' characters.
Their characters were great, and I was so happy to see Mike Myers.
Yeah.
All right. Keanu Reeves is kind of expected to do a cameo in this movie, which would naturally be. And he also had a quote recently that said he's still down to do more John Wick stuff.
Of course he is.
But
I'm like, then it has to be prequel stuff.
It would be prequel stuff.
Or he's not dead.
Or you're right.
I gotta say. Oh, by the way, we did no spoiler alerts when you said that.
It's been a week.
Well, we did last week. At this point, if you haven't seen it, you haven't.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, again, it's one of those things where like they cannot bring him back because it spoils the ending entirely. I mean, they can bring him back, but then it's like once you bring him back, all meaning starts to go out the window.
I don't know. Like, if you do it, if they explain it the right way.
Yeah.
He is dead because he wants to fully get out. This is his full-on get out, and then magically or somebody accidentally sees him on the street buying milk at the grocery store. And
listen,
wait a minute,
my thing is, if I don't see your body go into the ground in a film, then the possibilities are endless. Yeah, the possibilities are endless for you to come back. Like we saw Robert Downey Jr. die as Iron Man.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So he's dead. But this one,
well, but in the comics, he's died how many times and he's not really dead. So
right, not to mention Marvel is facing a tremendous dilemma because if we see Robert Downey Jr. again, thanks to the multiverse, it too is going, and I know we're probably going to see him again because of the multiverse, but it's going to dilute the impact pretty quickly.
Depends on where they put it.
I'm worried about that as far as the multiverse goes, but you are right. If they do it and do it like in the comics where Tony Stark is much beloved and whatever as he is so arrogant that downloaded his consciousness to a computer and then can put himself into a clone, I'm okay with that because that totally makes sense with that character. And if they do that to bring him back, I'm fine with it. They probably won't,
but even if they do, for the viewing audience, particularly those who aren't comic book aficionados, it's going to be like, oh, what does it matter if any of these characters can die because any of them can come back?
It's true.
And my answer is, it's a superhero movie. We can do whatever we want in these movies.
You can, but you will. Everything you do still comes at a cost with your audience. So, like,
yeah, I mean, but just like in the comics, though, where characters have died, when they're brought back, right? We're excited about it. It didn't.
Right,
It didn't
but
belittle anything.
But we are a particular segment, right, of moviegoers, and then the general audience that has joined on for the ride is like, oh, okay, so like that's how this is. All right, whatever.
Yeah. Bella Paul says yes. They need to just let people die, or the fear of losing someone means nothing to us. That's very true. It's very true. Very true. All right, let's get into this weekend's box office.
Woo!
Coming in at number 1, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves brought in about 38 mil.
I think that beat out Shazam. Like, I think it did better than Shazam.
Shazam only brought in 4.
No, but it did better than Shazam.
No, opening weekend.
Oh, opening weekend. They're at 71 million worldwide. Wow. Not bad. Not bad.
Maybe this week.
Probably gonna blow up more on streaming.
I think it's gonna do just fine in theaters.
John Wick with a strong 28 million that next week. Very strong. Even though it's a 61% drop, it's still strong.
What's
28
that?
million.
How much? That's got to be over 100 at this point, right? Because he made like 78 the first week.
Yeah. It definitely. 244.
Oh, here you go. I wonder if it was fully released worldwide last week, because I don't think it made much outside the country last week, right?
I don't know, 122 million.
Right, but I think last week it only made like 40 worldwide or internationally.
Yeah, it wasn't released totally everywhere.
It says it right there, right? 73 opening.
Wait, hold on. Let's get back there. Yeah, it's opening with 73.
Right.
Was that worldwide opening? Yeah, right.
That was
no, that's domestic opening.
Right, but I don't think
that was a domestic opening.
I want to say it only made like 120 worldwide last week. So
yeah, this was 73 domestic. All right, we're doing just as good international as it is.
It's gonna make more than Black Adam.
Well, Black Adam's at like 5.
Did it?
I don't know if John Wick is gonna make 5. Yeah, it got to 5.
500 million,
or a little bit under. A little bit under 5. It wasn't quite
there. It was only like 460 last time we looked.
John Wick has to make another 200+ million. I don't know if that's possible.
But we're only 2 weeks in too.
With the wiki guy.
Black Adam's worldwide is still 393.
Really?
Yeah, Black Adam ain't doing nothing. Oh, it's shocking, really?
Oh my god.
You're so butthurt, and I'm not trying to laugh at you, but the look on your face is priceless when you say that.
Bella Paul says art is about emotion after all. Very true. Very true. Coming in number 3, His Only Son got about 5 million. What is His Only Son?
It's got to be a Jesus movie, I'm guessing.
Is it? Oh, it's Abraham.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I want to see this.
Abraham.
Thing.
It's about Abraham.
Yeah,
this is
that's
a great story, and there's some good. But like, how long can that movie be?
What, Abraham?
This movie. How long is this movie? If it's talking about him taking Isaac up to the mountaintop, like how? Or not?
I'm sure. You think it might end there at that point? Is what you're saying?
No. I'm sure it ends before they, because of, they find the ram and they go up anyway. But I'm just wondering, is it all backstory before then? Because that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say don't just focus on that part. Like, there's so much more to Abraham's story, like,
correct,
than just that. But yeah, I'd be interested in seeing that. Let's see what else we got here. Scream 6 dropped another 5 mil. Let's see what their total is. Oh, they're only 147 million, man.
How about John Wick's gonna pass them next?
Yeah, I mean, it came out with a bang, but
yeah,
I think people are over the Scream stuff, even though I hear this movie is good.
It's pretty good. I think they're gonna do okay.
All right. Creed 3, another 5 million. Let's see what Creed
Very
is
nice.
at. 258. Cliff, do you have can you look up Creed 2's numbers worldwide?
Sure.
Just so you can have a comparison.
Creed 2. Its worldwide number was 214 million.
All right, so it did better.
Yeah. And the budget for this for Creed 2 was 50 million.
Oh, get ready for Creed 4.
Right?
Get ready for Creed 4.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
the budget for the budget for these is never that much.
There are rumors of a spin-off movie for the Jonathan Majors character out of the Creed
we gotta
universe.
stop with that stuff. And
There's
I love
rumors
Jonathan
of that.
Majors, but you can't spin off every character.
Because I guess, spoiler alert, at the end of this movie, they end up being cool or something like that. From what they say. But yeah, Rocky universe still going strong.
Well,
You can't call it the
Creed
Rocky
universe.
universe. It's the Creed
No,
universe.
this is the Rocky.
There's no-
I don't care how many spin-offs
I
they got. This is
agree with
Rocky
you.
universe.
I agree.
None
with
of
you.
this would be possible without Rocky.
Correct.
I only partially agree.
What? How is Creed possible without Rocky?
No, that part is true. But Creed taking on its own life and its own pocket universe.
Well, yeah,
It's
you could have
also
a
true.
Creed universe underneath the Rocky universe, but it ain't
That's
gonna
what I'm
be
saying.
separate.
And if Sylvester doesn't turn it around, that's exactly what I think is going to happen here.
Now,
Oh, I
and I
think he's
haven't
gonna
seen
have a
this
change
one
of heart.
yet. So, I mean, if having not seen this third one, just bear with me with that. So I might be whatever. The first two are fully in the Rocky universe.
No, of
So
course
yeah,
they
If
are.
this
yeah,
third
yeah,
one
yeah,
takes
yeah,
a
yeah.
departure, which is what I'm guessing it's.
Yeah, he
finally
takes his
doing.
little left turn
Right.
here.
This,
And then,
this
you know,
is
if
where
they
it
have that
finally splits its
spin-off,
own
it's going to
legs.
be another turn. All right. Shazam! Fury of the Gods, 4 million. I'm afraid to look at this number. 119. Lord have
Wow.
mercy.
John Wick.
Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Did the fans boycott this movie because of James
Yes.
Gunn?
Yes, partially because of James Gunn, but actually in a variety of ways related to James Gunn, unfortunately, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's ridiculous. Like, one of my friends, I was like, "You like Shazam? Just go see the movie." And he's like, "Well, what's the point? Because none of it's gonna pay off." I'm like, "The movie is still the movie."
Yeah.
And you still don't know yet if this is part of that universe or not. You know what
Maybe
I mean?
it's like when they reboot comics and you're like midway through a series and you know there's 4 issues left and you know it's going to reboot in July. You're like, do I finish it?
Yeah. Well,
None of this is about to matter.
there were rumblings that Gal Gadot is staying.
As she
Kind of
should.
leaked is that she's staying, but you won't see her for a while.
Which
She
means
is staying.
They made an agreement with her so she can go do a bunch of other movies.
Yeah, which is, like, get ready for this DCU because you're gonna see fandom nutso-ness like you've never seen before.
I just wish that they could move at a faster pace, but it's hard to move at a fast pace and produce quality. It all has me very concerned.
Yeah. 1001. What's this? After an unapologetic and fiercely loyal Inez kidnaps her son Terry from the care system, mother and son set out to reclaim their sense of home, identity, stability in a rapidly changing New York City. Okay. Made about $1 million.
Sounds so uplifting. I can't imagine why nobody saw that.
65 dropped $1 million. It's at 54 million. I'm wondering how much this movie costs because there's a lot of special effects in this movie.
Yeah.
So this might be a crash and burn.
That's one
I
of those
hear
ones
good things about the people who have seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of those I'm going to go wait for it to be on video.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania,
Come on.
471.
Oh, it's right there. Did you
Yeah.
get it? It's right there.
471. It would be
Now,
nice
see?
if it hit the 500, right?
Now, see, why isn't this hitting the 500?
Same
don't know.
reason.
Right? Right, exactly. Like the fans are so
Well, too many people are listening to critics.
Yeah.
okay, but you know what? When it came to other Marvel movies, no one was listening to critics, right? Then all of a sudden, once the pandemic hit, Black Widow going to Disney Plus and all this stuff, it all started to progressively go downhill. And the fans just kept coming out with just different
Mhm.
areas or all areas where they were not happy.
Mhm.
It's a shame because we did get some really good stuff in
Yeah,
that
I think
intro.
when it comes out on streaming, people will realize that it was a good movie. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we should have saw this in the theater type stuff. All right. Number 10, Jesus Revolution. How much did Jesus Revolution make? 50 million. Not bad. Not bad. I'm sure the budget is probably like 20 million or something like that.
It's probably
Shouldn't have
like
cost that.
150,000.
No, because Kelsey
Oh.
Grammer's in it.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are your top 10 for this week. Now it's time to get into what we came here for, or our featured part of today's stream, and it is, get up there, the Goonies.
Woo! By
The
the way,
Goonies.
Jesus Revolution cost $15 million to make.
There you go.
Really?
The Goonies. This movie has got everybody in it. Everybody.
And they're doing a remake.
They keep. You know what? By
Not
the way,
everybody, apparently.
by the way, do we want that? Because after the Willow fiasco, I don't think I want any. I think we need to let it go. I think we really need to just let it go.
I'm
Oh,
okay.
if they
as
say
long as
Goonies
they bring
series on Disney
everybody
Plus,
back.
no. I'll be like, no, don't do it.
But this
What was
movie's got
that? I missed
everything.
that.
It's directed by Superman and Scrooge director Richard Donner. It's produced. The story is by Steven Spielberg. The screenplay is by Chris Columbus, director of the first 3 Harry Potter movies.
Mm-hmm. And Home Alone.
And Home Alone. This movie's got everything. Sean Astin is in it. A young Josh Brolin is in it. Martha
Corey-
Plimpton is in it.
It's got one of the Corys.
It's got Corey Feldman and Ki Kwan is also in it. This movie's got everybody.
And it's got who's the old woman from Throw Mama from the Train is in it.
Oh, Throw Mama from the Train Lady. Hold on. Let me
Oh.
find her.
Remember?
Chunk.
Who's this? It's my cousin Patty. You don't have a cousin Patty. Oh.
Listen, this was that movie that was, you'd hope that you and your friends could
Yes.
stumble upon some kind of adventure like this. You know what I mean? You go
I
digging in the woods. all
And
that stuff.
Anne Ramsey is the woman's name. Also, her full name, Angelina Ann Ramsey Mobley. But Anne
Oh,
Ramsey played the character.
This was a movie that when the pandemic happened and it told us everyone to stay home, I started showing because I'm home all the time now. I started showing my sons movies from the 80s. I'm like, oh, we're gonna start watching this movie and this and that. And I remember sitting down, putting this on, and RJ goes, I don't want to watch this. I'm like, sit down, you're watching this movie with me. And about halfway through, he turns to me and goes, this is pretty good. I'm like, yeah, I'm only showing you the good ones from the 80s. I'm not showing you some of the crap that I had to watch. This is one of the good ones.
Did you watch The Lost Boys with them?
Yeah, I
Did
agree.
not watch the Lost Boys with them, but I do like the Lost Boys.
Are you, how many years are you waiting before you expose them to The Lost Boys?
Oh man,
I mean,
we
I
gotta
figured they
do a
gotta
show
be
on the
a
Lost
little older.
Boys.
Huh?
We gotta do a show on The Lost Boys.
I'll watch it.
We
again.
definitely gotta do a
I don't-
show
I-
on Lost
I'm not gonna
Boys.
watch, like I said, I would have watched The Thing today, but
Love
if I was
that
gonna
movie.
rewatch something, I can't watch that with them.
Oh my god! And Lost Boys has both the Corys, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Is
Yeah.
There you
Freeman
go.
in it?
The Frogman.
Yeah.
Oh, the Lost Boys. I thought you were talking about this. I'm sorry.
So yeah, this has a star-studded cast that wasn't a star-studded cast just yet. Some of the names you knew from certain places, like Data. He was in Indiana Jones. He
Mr.
was
Jones,
Short
Dr.
Round,
Jones, Dr. Jones.
which came out.
And Josh
Dr.
Brolin
Jones,
was the
you
son of
Dr.
James
Jones.
Brolin, so that's a whole thing.
Yes,
This is
Thanos
kind of
himself.
the movie that launched Sean Astin, right? Like, I think he might have done a couple things before this, but this was his
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
This was a big deal for him. But
Oh,
he had a few big
the
deals.
Plumber. Isn't Amanda Plummer in this? She's
Amanda Plummer?
She's the girlfriend's friend. She's not the girlfriend.
Don't you mean Martha Plimpton?
Martha Plimpton. I said
Right,
Amanda
my
Plummer,
precious
sorry.
Martha Plimpton,
Yes, that's
who
what I meant
is
to say.
who was in The Parenthood, Samantha,
Yes.
starred in the series Raising Hope, starred in the series The Real O'Neills, which unfortunately I'm mad
I
at
like that.
ABC for
That was a
canceling
fun
it.
show. I like that show.
That show was great. It
I
was
like the
ruined by
older brother.
stupidity.
The older brother was an idiot, but I loved him.
And he's on Lopez versus Lopez now.
I can't watch that show. George Lopez. I don't find George Lopez funny, so I can't watch it.
I'm
used to
enjoying
find
it
him
because
funny.
that's his real
Not
daughter.
anymore.
Okay.
What's some of your favorite scenes from this film? Let's start with you. What's some of your
Chunk
favorite
Shuffle.
scenes from this movie?
The Chunk Shuffle.
No,
Truffle
there's
Shuffle.
where I think I think it's happens on the pirate ship where he like the pirate spins around in the chair.
Mm.
Like that like iconic scene is probably, I think it happens like way later in this whole story, but they're on like the pirate ship. And it's One-Eyed Willie.
One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah, it's One-Eyed Willie. Like he kind of just
Yeah.
spins around. It's him. And it's like a perfectly preserved skeleton. It's an iconic shot. It's an iconic moment now.
Truffle Shuffle.
Cliff.
The Truffle Shuffle.
Well,
I'm not going to go
guy.
with Truffle Shuffle.
That's your
I-
favorite scene?
No, my favorite scene, and it's because ever since I was a kid, it was drilled into me when they pop out of the water and see the boat.
Yes.
Right? That scene is so amazing, especially seeing it as a kid in the theater. It really grabbed me. But then, as time continued and I kept seeing behind the scenes and interviews, even at a young age, you know, when they would do the behind the scenes on television, right? And it was like a really big deal making that scene.
Mhm.
And
It's a real boat in that scene.
it's a
right?
real boat. And Richard Donner like went crazy making the real boat. He's like, I can't wait for the kids to see it. I can't wait for the kids to see it. And he's like, don't tell them anything. We're just going to record the reaction when they come out of the water. They all came out. They were so stunned.
Oh.
Every filthy thing came out of their mouth. And he's like, oh, we can't use that take.
Yeah.
Every single one of them was swearing when they saw the ship. So my young mind immediately connected my impression of the ship in the movie theater with that story, and as a result, it's just been my absolute favorite scene in the whole movie. Like, I love the movie, but like that scene, like it's all like imprinted in my mind like that.
One of my favorite scenes, and it's more of like a drama moment, is when one of the kids is like, up there it's their time, down here it's our time, it's our time down here. And then they were taking the coins from the wishing well, and Corey Feldman's character goes, well, yeah, you see this one? I did this one. It never came true. So I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back. I was like, that's so good right there. And he just like dunks himself in the water. I thought that was pretty cool.
I like the scene where Josh Brolin finally gets out of the chair and he runs outside and takes the little girl's bike, and then you see him riding away with his knees in the face. No,
Is
really.
that where they
the
fall through and it's like
father-
a water slide is a pretty
Yeah.
like intense. That
Oh, yeah. And it looked pretty scary because they had the sticks coming out,
Yeah.
like pointing down. I was like, oh, okay. All right, kids, when we film this scene, don't lift your heads. You're gonna die. You could die. Just don't lift your heads. Because it's not CGI, it's practical back then. So I'm pretty sure it was like a foamy thing that wouldn't have hurt them, but still what it is. Great characters in this movie. Who's your favorite?
Kind of like Data.
Data. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Data.
And I'm not sure if it's just because I really enjoy him or because I was carrying on my enjoyment of him from Indiana Jones when I saw this.
Yeah.
I mean, I've rewatched it and I still am most charmed by him.
Question: who played the guy with Chunk?
You mean the guy
Oh,
with
the Hey You Guys.
Yeah, hey you guys.
John Matuszek. It looks like he was a football player.
Now, is that prosthetic?
Oh, absolutely. Because I'm seeing the guy's real face.
Oh, okay. Because I always wondered,
I don't
because
know if
it
you can
looks
see
so
my
real.
phone.
I always thought that was
This
real
is
or
what it
not.
looks like without the prosthetics.
Oh, okay. Excellent. But yeah, his performance is great. I thought when he couldn't get
his
to
performance
the
is great.
what you call it, when they gave him the food or something like that, and they put it out of his reach, and then Chunk kind of like pushes it toward him, and then he finally gets it, and he's like, ah,
the baby Ruth, right?
yeah.
By the way, John Matuszek is a former Oakland Raider.
Yeah, I was just reading that now.
Yeah. He was a defensive end when was this? In 1973 to 1981? 82. So he was Houston Oilers in 73, Texans in 74, Kansas City Chiefs 74-75, Redskins in 76, and 76 to 82, the Oakland Raiders. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion.
Had to be with the Raiders.
Wow.
How about I forgot Joey
Silver
Pants in
and
this
black.
movie.
Which one?
Both
Who's that?
time were with the Raiders.
Joe Pantoliano. He's one of the goons.
Oh, the Mamma Mia, the one that sings in there.
Right.
Anyhow, I mean, let's actually talk about the movie. The
Those
movie's
guys.
like a
The
really
Fratellis.
good treasure hunt.
Now refresh me. The father
With a lot of little
is
ups
losing
and
his job
downs.
at the beginning.
What was that? Both of you crossed
Yes,
over each other.
because they're
I was gonna say
they're
the fa-
shutting
he's-
down they're
Right.
shutting down the museum or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get to spend their last day or something together, and they just end up on an adventure.
Right.
It starts with they're up in the attic looking for stuff.
Yeah, they
Looking
find the
through all
golden
the old
bloom.
stuff, and they come upon they find the doubloon, all the other stuff,
treasure
and
map.
they just set out on an adventure. They meet the Fratellis, a
The
cabin.
doubloon that if you found in real
treasure
life, you
map.
could pay off your house's mortgage.
Yeah.
Easily.
That's not ever worry about moving.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy was an executive producer back then?
She's with Spielberg, right?
Yeah.
She was on a lot of those
Yeah.
movies, Indiana Jones and stuff. Yeah.
See some photos.
I just love that.
We
Lost
gotta
had
do
a
a show of
director.
views.
You know, I've never seen it.
It's a great.
What,
picture.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
I've never seen any of them.
Oh,
I
you
wa-
gotta see the first two. You gotta
What? Are you crazy?
I'm not.
Yo, you gotta see them, man. They're classics. They're classics.
They really
These
are.
are good black and white photos.
It's so funny. how
Ye
they all
intruders beware. This was a good scene when she has to play the piano keys,
Yes.
but she's barely played piano, so she only knows like certain things. That was a pretty cool
Right.
scene.
And it's upside down at first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they get in that ship at the end with all the gold and the treasure. That's pretty cool. But then the Fratellis meet up with them and they do something and the boat gets released from the cave. And at the end, they don't have any of the treasure, but Mouth has was it Mouth or was it the other one that has a bag full of jewels? And that's like one of my favorite scenes too, when the maid lady is like, "No Peterman, no Peterman," and they're like, "Translate." He's like, "No pen, no sign." And then she dumps the little treasures in her hand.
Yeah. But I was gonna say that then they trigger a cave in, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, because they weren't supposed to take. Remember, he was like, Mouth is about to take something out of the Willie's hand or Willie's
Yes.
tray, and then they stop him and say, "No, that's for Willie. He gets to keep that." But when the Fratellis come,
yeah,
they take that, and it kind of triggers the.
Well, and that's how they get separated. Remember, because they're in the cave with the ship, and the Fratellis can't get to them because it caved in. But they don't care because they're like, "Ah, the kids are gonna suffocate in there," and then they kind of go about their way. Remember?
Yeah. And then there's a famous scene. Hey, you guys, Captain Chunk. So almost nearing the end. Let's talk about what they might be planning to do for continuing this.
Well,
Like-
I mean, a new generation of kids. The only way you can make it like a little bit fun for the two generations is like the parents like realize what their kids could be up to, you know,
Mhm.
or maybe it's a different kind of mystery, and the parents are on one little quest, and the kids are on another one, and they're actually coming together.
Yeah.
You know, and even do
Very
that
interesting.
thing where like halfway through the movie where each one of them thinks that they've got it and then mayhem ensues and then they switch up and half the kids are with half the parents in two new groups till we
As
get
long
the
as they don't,
result.
as long as they don't Jurassic Park, the last Jurassic Park movie, where it's two plots going on. And
Yeah,
neither-
you got to put a
neither-
lot of effort into this.
I mean, to me, you find a reason for everybody to come back to town. Like, not you don't want to kill a character off, but maybe
Well, no,
maybe
Who
Sean
still
Astin's
lives in the
parents-
town? Who
Huh?
still lives in the town?
Well, I would think Corey Haim's character never gets out of that town.
Right. So like, should we pretend that he's actually successful later in life and he hosts a reunion like every couple of years?
Well, I'm thinking, which I mean, this is just me spitballing, but also Sean Astin's parents still live in town, and maybe one of them has passed away, and the final one passes away, so they're all coming back to town, or a handful of them are coming back to town because they're there for the funeral to say, hey, we're still friends or whatever. We haven't seen each other in a while. Because I've done that in real life, where you see people at a funeral for their parents you haven't seen in forever, and then someone's cleaning out the house and finds, oh, by the way, all that stuff we found years ago, there was this whole box that we just never saw, and then another adventure ensues.
I mean, who's to say they left the town?
There's that too.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
they paid off all the debt.
I
Yeah,
really
man.
well, that one. I was gonna say that one family. It's not likely they're sticking around. You know, I mean, they
one?
went through bankruptcy and
The main
everything.
family?
They were back to go.
Well, I thought now the main family, I would think they would stay because remember he's ripping it up. It's like nobody's going anywhere now,
Right.
ever. You know what I mean? So I would think that family would stay. I could see like Data going off to like college
Correct.
and going away. and
Oh
all
my
that
god!
stuff.
You know, it'd be great if Data comes back and he's all very Indiana Jones like.
Yes.
That'd be great. We're still rooting for that cameo in Indiana
Or-
Jones, man.
You do the trophy, it's a wedding, and everybody shows up at it too. But
You could do that
Sean
too.
Astin's like, oh, by the way, and then No, we're not. We're not doing that. We're adults. We don't do this crap anymore. But I need really, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
If,
how do we want to include the adults?
Now, apparently, they're trying to get everybody that's still alive back.
No, that's one thing. But back to be what? To be supporting cast or to have a role in the adventure? I'm a fan of having a role in the adventure just so that, like, you know,
I
you
think it would
get
be
those
a
lines.
better movie or a better like series.
Movie.
Oh God, movie. No,
Movie.
I don't
I'm
think
scared
it's
of
a
another
series.
series.
Yeah, we're scarred by Willow right now.
We got so invested.
I'm just
Well,
mad
that's
it got
because
canceled.
Iger came in and told Lucasfilm, you are only to focus on Star Wars. You cannot do anything else. And that's why the Indiana Jones series was canceled and why Willow was canceled. Because they want Star Wars to be that main thing, man, and it hasn't been lately. But for this, I agree with Cliff. I would want the parents to be kind of more of the focus and the kids being a supporting role.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I want equal time.
I would.
I want equal.
Nah, because
I don't need another Ghostbusters movie. I want this to be them.
Yeah.
No, see, this is a problem though. These people are not young. The only one who's in shape is Josh Brolin. All right, I can't have Martha Plimpton running around doing stunts.
Why
You
not?
know?
That's what makes it fun. Like she's like, I'm cool for this.
You do. No, you gotta have it balanced. You gotta have it balanced. I like the dual adventure thing. Let the parents do more serious, more adult stuff, and the kids do the real trouble stuff, crawling into the dark, horrifying spaces, that sort of thing. You know? And let's not crap on Ghostbusters Afterlife because I love that movie.
I did too. I really enjoyed that movie. I'm not.
I thought it
but
was
reboots
good.
it in a different way. I want this movie to be more nostalgic because I get the characters that I loved from before back. I don't need another movie with brand new people.
And I want to blend, right? I want us to see the parents interacting with the kids. I want to see the kids acting like their parents, right? Like you can just tell who's kid.
I'm okay with that. I just don't want the kids to pull focus from the parents because I'm okay with this being the last final will and testament for the Goonies universe. I don't need this to spin off and have the kids doing like 6 more movies.
Yeah, like I need a scene where what's not Corey Feldman, the other one.
Sean Astin?
Sean Astin. I need a scene where they look at each other and say, we're gonna do this again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I can see them two saying, yeah, do it again. But they need to listen, if you're gonna take time to work on this, take time, make the script good. Like back in the days, like make this phenomenal. Don't rush this. You know what I mean? Don't do any of that. Don't Disney Plus it. Just make it what it is.
And we're also being very cruel. Don't Disney Plus it. Disney Plus has given us some very solid things.
Andor, Mandalorian.
No, these are solid stuff. Yes.
Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur.
But they've also given us some horrible things.
The first 2 episodes of Willow.
Yeah, well,
like
the
first 2
She-Hulk,
episodes.
I'm sorry, like She-Hulk. Like even though I liked it a little bit, I was like, you could have did so much better on this.
I can't wait to see She-Hulk in a movie.
Yeah,
with like a bigger budget to like, style her out.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I think that her next appearance is in Captain America: New World Order. The next Captain America.
Have you seen the cast for that?
Huge.
It's big.
Huge. So they're basically saying Captain America: New World Order is Hulk 2, Incredible Hulk Part 2. Because they just brought Liv Tyler back.
I could see that.
There's set leak photos. She's at a funeral. There's other set photos of Harrison Ford. It's going to involve some mutant stuff is going to be in it. Adamantium's going to be in it.
Oh! Tim Blake Nelson's coming back. Which means
Blake Nelson. Meters coming back. Yeah.
They're bringing,
So it has to be they're bringing the heat. All right. So that's the Goonies. Loved movie by us here.
Classic movie.
Classic. If you have not seen the Goonies and you've not seen it with your kids, you need to go see it with your kids. You go rent it, on streaming, whatever you gotta do to get it. It is a classic movie. So
And one of the best things to come out of the 80s.
definitely a lot of good things came out of the 80s that we take for granted. Damn, the 80s were like 40 years ago, bro.
Yeah, well,
Crazy.
you know what's wild about you watch 80s movies now, and there's things that you're like, ooh, that didn't age well. But
Nope.
as soon as a movie starts, I'm like, that's an 80s movie. Not just the resolution, because you can fix that with 4K, but the way it's shot, the soundtrack.
Well, the
titles.
graininess of it is what I love.
I do.
You know,
I do too.
like
I
that
don't love
Indiana
that.
Jones, Star Wars
Yes.
graininess. Like, I love that about a movie. I'm not too.
Yes.
That's why when they do like newer movies, like part 2s that are newer, and it looks different, it kind of throws me off. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
When it gets
Slightly.
too clean.
Yeah. When it gets too clean. All right. So that is our episode for today for Film and Box Office News. We want to thank everybody for joining us. Of course, we do this every Sunday at 5 p.m., so make sure to join us next week. We will be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. for the new keys and hot comics of the week, so you can know what books to go get on New Comic Book Day this Wednesday. If you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification button. If you're watching on Facebook, please jump on over to YouTube and give us a like. We just went over 100 watched hours, which is phenomenal. We're at 404 now subscribers, considering that we were at like 78 watch hours like 2 weeks ago, and then it just jumped. Like, people are going back and watching videos now, and we're loving
All
that.
those 4 subscribers we just brought in.
Yeah.
Put us up.
They're watching it like crazy, and we really appreciate that. Remember, we have tons of videos on the channel. Recently went to an art show with Kamaria in Newburgh, so check that one out. As Cause We Be Complicated, Dialogues of Black Artists. We also have the reviews for John Wick up, New Comic Book Day, and all the new stuff that's coming out, and plus Mandalorian, which was phenomenal. We'll probably talk a little bit about that tomorrow. Zeb, we seen Zeb. Did you see Zeb? I seen Zeb. That's big time for Rebels right there. But anyway, that's more on a comic book side. So, for myself, for Phil, for Cliff, for Green Shirt Guy, we thank you guys. We love you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.